All right. So someone asked the question, how do you advertise your positions? Indeed, ZipRecruiter, LinkedIn, or in the US or internationally? So when it comes down to international, we use a site called onlinejobs.ph. And what that is a virtual job board in the Philippines. And what I will say, when we put a job out there on the Philippines and on onlinejobs.ph, what we usually see is if it's a bookkeeping job, we usually get about 60 applicants within 4 days. And so what we had to do is set up a really good vetting process. I'm very clear about what the instructions are on how to apply to the job. So the people who don't follow the instructions immediately get weeded out. And then we also include some things like, including a video or a voice note explaining, tell us, the highlights of your resume and why you think you are the right person for this job. And people who don't follow those instructions immediately get weeded out. So what we're left with are the people who could follow instructions and the people who could confidently explain why they feel they are the right person for the job. And when we're doing that, it allows us to weed through them faster. Now, when it comes down to hiring in the US, because we haven't hired a ton of people in the US, one of the things that we do is I'll reach out on LinkedIn or I'll put a post out there. Now, part of that is because I do post a lot on LinkedIn. And so we have a decent amount of followers on LinkedIn. So if I post that I'm hiring for a job, we have people who reach out. I've spoken at college universities. So I often, after I speak at a university and I talk about our firm, we often have college students in accounting programs who email me or they'll send me messages on LinkedIn asking about, hey, if you're ever hiring, they kind of pretty much, I guess, put themselves on my radar. And so I would just say is I looked at, putting our firm out there. I look at that as part of my job as the leader of the firm is how can I represent the firm in a way that people know we exist. So whenever I put out a post or whenever I reach out to other accounting firm owners, because I will say that is a great place for you to look for potential new hires is other accounting firm owners, because I've reached out to a couple of accounting firms and they've reached out to myself as well. It's like, hey, they knew that we recently hired a job. They may ask like, hey, were there any applicants that you liked that you didn't hire? Because if you only have one position, you pick the one that is best. And sometimes it's between like one of three people. And so especially for all of the people that we hire directly, meaning like we didn't go through a recruiter or we didn't go through a third party company, like we may have a list of names of people, or I may have people who have reached out to me on LinkedIn looking to get into the profession. And so I would say is I try to keep in touch with other firm owners because they may know of people who are looking for a good role, which means I don't have to pay like a recruiter fee. I don't have to post jobs everywhere. And then also if I am looking for someone, I just try to be as public as I can about, hey, here's what we're looking for and here's what we need. And trust me, we usually get a lot of people who reach out and say, hey, I'm interested. And then I think a really big thing we try to do is we try to be public about what it is like to work at our firm. We try to be public about talking about the things that we are doing. Like when we did our team retreat, we tried to put the put the photos and the videos out on social media so people get an idea what it's like to be part of our team. Because I think the better you are at promoting and advertising what it's like to be on your team, the easier it will be for you to attract other people who want to be part of your team.